January 13th, 1999. A chilly winter afternoon in Baltimore, Maryland. An 18-year-old high school student, Hae Min Lee, drives away from Woodlawn High School in her grey Nissan Sentra. She's supposed to pick up her young cousin from daycare and head to her part-time job at LensCrafters. But Hae never makes it. That day, her life is tragically cut short, and a case begins that will grip the world for decades. A case filled with love, betrayal, unanswered questions, and a legal saga that's still unfolding. This is the story of Hae Min Lee's murder, and the mystery that refuses to die. Let's start at the beginning. Hae Min Lee was a Korean-American teenager, born in South Korea in 1980. At 12, she moved to the United States with her mother, Yoon Kim, and her brother Young Lee to live with her grandparents. Hae was vibrant, ambitious, and loved by many. A scholar and athlete, she played lacrosse and field hockey, and managed the wrestling team at Woodlawn High School. Her friends described her as outgoing, responsible, and someone who lit up any room. But beneath her cheerful exterior, Hae was navigating the complexities of teenage life, including a secret romance. Hae was dating Adnan Syed, a 17-year-old Pakistani-American classmate. Both were part of the magnet program for high-achieving students at Woodlawn. Their relationship was intense but hidden from their families due to cultural and religious differences. Hae's diary entries reveal her deep feelings for Adnan, calling him the sweetest guy. But by late 1998, cracks appeared. Hae wrote about Adnan's possessiveness, and just before Christmas, she broke up with him. She had started seeing someone new, a co-worker named Don. This breakup would later become a pivotal piece of the prosecution's case. On January 13th, Hae was last seen leaving school around 2:15 p.m. She was supposed to pick up her cousin by 3:15, but never arrived. Her family, alarmed, reported her missing that evening. For weeks, the Baltimore community held its breath, hoping Hae would return. But on February 9th, a man named Alonzo Sellers discovered her partially buried body in Leakin Park, a place notorious for criminal activity. The autopsy confirmed the worst. Hae had been manually strangled. She was just 18. The Baltimore Police Department launched a homicide investigation. Early on, an anonymous tip pointed them toward Hae's ex-boyfriend, Adnan Syed. On February 28, 1999, police arrested Adnan, then 17, charging him with first-degree murder, kidnapping, robbery, and false imprisonment. The case seems straightforward, but as we dig deeper, it's anything but. Let's break it down. The prosecution's case hinged on two pillars: motive and testimony. They argued Adnan was a scorned lover, devastated by Hae's breakup and her new relationship. Hae's diary, which mentioned Adnan's possessiveness, was used to paint him as jealous and controlling. But the real linchpin was Jay Wilds, Adnan's friend. Jay told police a chilling story. On January 13th, Adnan confessed to him that he had strangled Hae in a Best Buy parking lot. Jay claimed Adnan showed him Hae's body in the trunk of her car and enlisted his help to bury her in Leakin Park. Jay's testimony was damning. He even led police to Hae's car, which had been missing since her disappearance. To corroborate Jay's story, prosecutors used cell phone records from a phone Adnan lent him that day. Incoming calls, they claimed, placed Adnan near Leakin Park at the time of the burial. Jay pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact, receiving a 5-year suspended sentence. On February 25, 2000, after a 6-week trial, a jury convicted Adnan in just 2 hours. He was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. Case closed, right? Not quite. Fast forward to 2014, a podcast called Serial, hosted by Sarah Koenig, brings Hae's case to the world's attention. Koenig spends a year re-examining the evidence, interviewing witnesses, and questioning Adnan's guilt. The podcast becomes a global phenomenon, downloaded over 100 million times. It raises serious doubts. Was Adnan's trial fair? Was the evidence solid? And most importantly, did the police get the right guy? Let's look at the cracks in the case. First, Jay Wilds' story. His account changed multiple times, different locations, different timelines. He admitted to lying to police initially, and some details, like the Best Buy payphone he mentioned, were later questioned. Then there's the cell phone evidence. An expert witness, Abraham Moranowitz, later signed an affidavit saying his testimony about the phone records was misleading because he wasn't shown a disclaimer about their reliability for location data. And then there's Asia McLean, a classmate who claims she saw Adnan at the school library during the time prosecutors said he was killing Hae. Adnan's lawyer, Cristina Gutierrez, never contacted her, a decision that would haunt the case. Serial also uncovered a bigger issue: Adnan's defense. Cristina Gutierrez was a high-profile attorney, but during the trial she was battling health issues and disbarment proceedings. Jurors overheard the judge call her a liar during a dispute, leading to a mistrial in the first trial. In the second, her cross-examinations were criticized as weak. Was Adnan's fate sealed by ineffective counsel? Adnan's legal team fought back. In 2010, he filed for post-conviction relief, citing ineffective assistance of counsel. In 2016, a judge vacated his conviction, granting a new trial based on the cell phone evidence and Asia McLean's alibi. But in 2019, Maryland's highest court reversed this, upholding the conviction. Then, in 2022, a bombshell. Prosecutors, after a year-long investigation, filed a motion to vacate Adnan's conviction. They cited new evidence, including 2 alternate suspects and a Brady violation, exculpatory evidence withheld from the defense. On September 19, 2022, Judge Melissa Finn vacated the conviction, and Adnan walked free after 23 years. But freedom came with a cost. Hae's family, particularly her brother Young Lee, felt blindsided. They argued they weren't given enough notice to attend the vacatur hearing, violating Maryland's victims' rights laws. Young Lee, speaking via Zoom, pleaded for justice for his sister. In March 2023, an appellate court agreed, reinstating Adnan's conviction in a 2-1 decision, though he remained free pending a new hearing. In August 2024, the Maryland Supreme Court upheld this, ordering a redo of the vacatur hearing, and in March 2025, Judge Jennifer Schiffer resentenced Adnan to time served, but his conviction still stands. So, where does this leave us? The case is a maze of contradictions. On one hand, Jay's testimony and the cell phone records convicted Adnan. On the other, those pillars have crumbled under scrutiny. Alternate suspects, like Ronald Lee Moore, a serial offender released days before Hae's murder, have been floated but never fully investigated. DNA tests in 2018 and 2022 found no trace of Adnan on Hae's body or clothes, but they haven't pointed to anyone else either. And then there's the human side, Hae's family, who feel their daughter's memory has been overshadowed by Adnan's celebrity status, and Adnan, who maintains his innocence, caught in a legal limbo. This case isn't just about guilt or innocence, it's about a flawed system where evidence can be shaky, lawyers can falter, and victims' families can feel forgotten. It's about a young woman whose life was stolen, and a community still searching for closure. Did Adnan Syed kill Hae Min Lee, or was he a teenager caught in a rush to judgment? The truth remains elusive, buried somewhere in the shadows of Leakin Park. As we leave this story, one question lingers. Will justice ever be served for Hae, for her family, for Adnan? Only time will tell. Until then, Hae Min Lee's story reminds us that behind every headline is a life, a loss, and a legacy that deserves to be remembered. Thanks for sticking with me through this intense case. If you're craving more true crime, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Drop a comment with your thoughts or which case you want next. Stay vigilant, and I'll be back with another story soon.